Welcome back, friends. Today we're going to be talking about growing head lettuce organically. We've been doing it 7 years now, growing head lettuce for a farmer's market and a CSA. And I'm going to be talking about how to take your lettuce from looking like these little baby plants to looking marvelous. So we're going to talk about that today, all the way from seed to harvest. So there are a couple different kinds of ways to buy lettuce seed. There's the plain raw lettuce seed. It's really small. And then there's also the pelletized seed that is coated in an organic approved clay substance. They're round, much easier to plant, and the cost does reflect that. So if you're going to have your kids do it, or if you want to be super precise and only put 1 or 2 per hole, you can go with the pelleted. But I feel like the raw lettuce seed, it is much more affordable, and if you are not concerned about perfectly having 1 lettuce seed per cell, as you can tell I'm not here, it's not a bad way to go. Either works amazing though. I do feel like the raw lettuce seed sprouts a little bit better and comes up quick. When the transplants are ready to go out, I put them out on sometimes 6 or 8 inch grid, just eyeballing it depending on how I know that variety is going to grow. So when I look at a bed of lettuce that I'm getting ready to harvest, I'm always thinking what needs to go first. So I will be looking for the largest heads that are crowded, heads that are really full, or even heads, especially when it comes to romaine, you might see a little bit of goofy looking leaves, and I will cut those first. If you see a head that just doesn't feel full, I leave those till next week or a midweek drop-off harvest. So when I'm harvesting for the farmer's market, I never have to have a certain amount of lettuce. So I just cut whatever I feel is like prime for that week. I never feel pressure that I have to make a certain amount count. So I like to cut down really low on the stem to make sure I don't lose leaves, because you can have a beautiful looking head and cut at soil level and then end up losing like a quarter of that head, especially of a nice like butter head where the leaves aren't really firmly attached. So I cut down extra far on the stem. You can always cut the extra stem off, but you can't attach the leaves back to the plant. For harvesting on our scale, I usually just put the lettuce right into the cooler, and if it is a really delicate lettuce, I will fill it with cold water and let it soak for a little while. If it's romaine or something that's really robust and hardy, I'll pack it right into the cooler how I'm going to take it to market and just put a couple inches of water in the bottom so that it can just stay hydrated in the cooler. For the butter heads, I usually come back an hour or 2 later and I'll put them in a different cooler so they're not soaking completely in water, and just put a couple inches in the bottom. Harvesting the lettuce like this and storing it like this, it usually keeps fine from Friday night to Sunday morning for us, depending on the weather. However, if it's hot, I usually will cut it on Saturday night if we're going to the market on Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you could click the subscribe button, and in the comments let us know what you thought of it and if you found it helpful, or if you guys have any tips that you've tried, I would absolutely love to hear from you guys. That is so much fun.